that a lot of men are hurting. And so we were talking a little bit about that. And we thought we would bring this live to have a discussion with you all to talk about it and why it's important. And a lot of men feel like they haven't been heard or are not being heard. And so if that resonates with you all, and just kind of see where it goes, because we're testing some things.
Right. The whole reason we were having this conversation is the reason why I wanted to have the conversation with Asia. She knows something about me, and she knows something about what I just went through. So it's, she has a personal relationship with me, and she was able to provide some insight that a personal friend could. It sounded like Asia knew what she was talking about, and I, agreed to do this and discuss some things and tell her, agree with her, basically just tell her what it's like to be hurt men, which there are a lot of us out there. And it's hard for us to admit that we're hurt because for some reason that takes something off your manhood. You're not supposed to be hurt, but we all know that's true. That's not true.
We're all humans, though. We're all people. We all have trauma. So there's things that are built in within us, and we've got to let that go. So I was telling Tim about this earlier, that it doesn't matter what you've been through. Most people have essentially like a house. If you've been through something, chances are you don't necessarily take it, listen to it, release it, knowing what to do with it. Most people just box it up and they put it in the box and they put it downstairs in their basement. So all the feelings that you felt and you dealt with, you didn't really deal with them. You just boxed them up and you put them in the basement. And then you go on to the next relationship, the next person. You just move on with your day, with your life, and you don't necessarily take the time to dissect it and really go through it. And so what happens is, over time, when you get to that new relationship and says all those old emotions right back over again, and you don't even have time to react, right? You just go off of, you're just almost like a gut reaction that you do, right? And then after you come down, then you realize, whoa, it's just straight emotion. And then you have to go back and process it, but you don't even know where it came from, because it's always usually something simple, and it's always the same thing because we haven't dealt with it. And so when you don't deal with it, it comes back in inopportune ways at different times.
All right, but now let's say why it's hard for men to actually deal with it. Most men would rather create a protective shell around themselves, not let anyone know that they're going through whatever, and for real, literally find it very hard to commit to a woman again. Like, really. To where you even look at it as like whenever a woman walks up to me, let me just speak for me. Whenever a woman is interested in me, in my mind, I think, well, what you want? What you want? But why are you here? Like, I'm sure I'm handsome, but there's a lot of other handsome men. Why are you in my face? What do you want? That's the way I feel. They may be driven by loneliness. They may be driven by physical or whatever. But at the end of the day, as a man, I don't feel like going through any of the investigations for you to listen to me, but then determine you're going to investigate what I'm saying anyway. I don't want to be evaluated. You know what I mean? This and this and this. I want somebody who's cool and somebody who is honest and this and this and this, but it's hard to find. So as a man who's been hurt, you just remain still.
Okay. When you say and this and this and this, what is that?
You're talking about the things like when you say this and this and this, you mean like those things about women or the lies they tell? Or
that's what you said. I'm just trying to dissect what you said. You said and this and this and this. And what is this and this and this?
It's just a lot of stuff. I mean, it's like literally, why would I ever own a car when I can rent one? And mentality. And at the end of the day, I do not want to to be. I don't want to have another car payment. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. That's where I am. And so what I'll do is I'll just keep riding in as a man. I'll just keep riding in rental cars, getting there, Uber, Lyfts, however I can get to where it is I'm trying to be. I don't want another car because I had a bad experience with car. So that I'm equivalating. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear about the problem, how many owners they've had, none of that. No, I don't care.
So you took that one problem and you put it in the box and you was like, never again.
It's
You
not
don't.
one problem. It's what I see, and I
Okay.
don't want people like I've seen a lot. Knowledge is not always a good thing in out here because when you know what people are doing, you see it. I've got a lot of female friends that, and I've got and people talk to me being in the comedy game and being from the radio game. There's a lot of people that confide in me the things that are going on in their lives. So what I believe in this world is you never know what who's doing. Unless they're in, let me just say this: I won't kiss a woman unless she's been with me 36 hours straight.
Okay. 36
That's
hours straight. Okay.
36 hours straight. If she's with me for 24 hours and then she goes to the store and she's there 15 minutes, the clock starts over.
Why is that?
I know too much. I know what's going on out here. I do. I do. It's going to take a while for me to get to trust somebody enough to want to get to know them, to find out who they are, and this and this and this. I literally feel like when they come at me, what you want? There's an agenda here. What is it? You want me to make you happy? You want me to pay your bills? What you want me to cut your grass? What you want me to do for you? Why are you here? Because it ain't to do nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? As a man,
Okay.
there's a lot to unpack, isn't it?
It is a lot to unpack because it is a story that you have been telling yourself for how long? How long?
I felt like this for a while. Even before my marriage, I was kind of like that. But at least before my marriage, I had a different mentality, which allowed me to interact with women. You know what I'm saying? Right now, um, you know, it's a different mentality after that. Because listen, you say that one situation, but this was the one situation that I totally was fooled on. I had a total, you know what I mean? I had 100% trust, 100% this, you know what I mean? I was both feet in all the way there. I was at the highest point that I could be at emotionally when it came to a woman. And then to have that woman push my ass off that cliff, I ain't never going up on that cliff again with no woman. Like if I do, I'm gonna have safety precautions, some sort of
Okay.
harness or some parachute. I just couldn't see myself allowing another woman to take me that high.
Okay.
Right.
How do you think she got you that high?
She came in doing
What
what?
did
Correct.
so what is it that you missed in the beginning?
Now, a lot of people look at this work. I ignored her narcissism and some of the things that she said about her own friends and family.
Okay.
Those were things I ignored. Um, like even she was giving a lot when she showed up. When she showed up, but first of all, she found me, right? She had a friend of hers that introduced me to her. And so when we got together, we got together. And she immediately stepped up, immediately, this woman who was capable, great job, great career, stepped up as a stepmother to my daughter, whose mom had died in 2015. Rest in peace. Um, she became a nana to my grandbabies, and she provided an avenue for me to spend time with them, you know? And in that moment, she literally became irreplaceable. No woman had ever done that and embraced my babies. I mean, the first Easter that I was with her, I had my grandbabies and my daughter over for Easter dinner. You see what I'm saying? So it was things like that where she just became like a fixer of certain things. She didn't have to get involved with that, but she did it. and it meant a lot to me.
How long were y'all dating before you made that deeper connection with her?
We met January 7th, 2019. I asked her to marry me in June of that year.
Okay, so that was fairly quickly.
Well, when you're older, you look at it differently. It's not like you're younger. Now, I mean, if I had been at the position that I'm in now, I had never been married before. I had never achieved that level of love
Okay. Okay,
or
so
security
let's sit
or
with that for a
trust
second.
with someone.
Okay, so let's sit with that because what were your standards before her?
When you say standards, I don't know what that is. I don't really have a standard other than what I like.
So what were your past relationships be like before her then? If that was the highest, what did you have before that?
Well, you personally remember my experiences with Teresa, and I'll call her name without saying her name. But you personally remember my experiences with Teresa. Like, damn. Like, that was Jesus. That was a lot. And shout out to all the hairdressers named Teresa, but this particular one was a lot. And that was a 9-year relationship,
Right.
almost 9 years.
So is it that you are somewhat of do you like toxicity? Are you
No,
attracted to
who
it?
likes toxic?
I
I don't
know,
look at that chick with the
but
purple hair
so
and be
we
like,
gotta
that's her.
unpack that. We have to
So what?
unpack that because it keeps certain things. Does that seem like certain things keep happening? Okay, let me say this. Let me back up.
Hmm.
Does each relationship get a little bit better?
All right. So listen, both of those situations, the marriage and Teresa, share some similarities. The similarities were these were women who made more money than me.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Okay. These were women that sought me out and wanted to meet me before I even knew they existed.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
These also were women who came to me at the height of whatever point in my career that was. When Teresa came to me, I was on the radio, on the morning show, and appearing a lot at the local comedy clubs.
Okay.
And so there was a height to me at that point, right?
Okay.
Um, then, of course, you remember when the radio station went off the air,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
Right? They fired everybody except for me, but I was in there doing other things on sports radio and, commercials and stuff like that, right? During that time where the limelight had dimmed is where the problem started coming in,
Okay. So
right?
you're saying it was good until when you lost when the station went off the air, that's when things went sour, essentially.
Yep. That's when things went sour. And still, when I was still like, the comedian, at the local comedy clubs and different things, I was still doing that, which is why she stayed around. But the whole Tim on the radio thing was gone, unless you like sports radio. Remember when I was doing it with Corey Miller? And sometimes I would do things on the country station in the top 40. But for the most part, it was part-time money at the radio station where I was receiving 29 hours a week, and whatever comedy I could come up with.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Okay. So during those times is when it really got out of control, the recklessness with her mouth and stuff like that. Now, I say that as a similarity with my ex-wife. Everything was fine until November 3rd, 2020, when I got laid off from the radio station. These are the similarities that those women share, and both of them were what showed me as a man that if a woman makes more money than you, then you are simply a choice that she is making that she can make it unmake at any time. So, and both of these women convinced me that they really loved me.
So, for women, we deem certain things as like, it's kind of like attainable because you have a certain status to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the time when you were in radio, and so she's seen like, oh my goodness, he's in radio, he's this and he's that, and women are flocking him, and I want him because everybody else wants him, right? Because you have a certain set of status
Right.
that they're looking to get. So they can feel like they're always in the end. They're always getting in the clubs. They're always getting in so and so. They're always being seen.
Mm-hmm.
And so they like that aspect of it. And then when you lost that, it's almost like when Samson cut his hair, right? When she cut him off Samson's hair, it's like, wait a minute.
Right.
And so
Right.
it wasn't like it wasn't true love, essentially. It wasn't truly,
Right.
It was almost artificial. And then once you lost it, then they lost the love for you. Okay.
Right.
Do I have
So again, like even like I said, with the ex-wife, listen, this is how it happened. I'm gonna give you dates,
Okay.
right? Proposed to her 2019 July,
Okay.
right? Yeah. December, late December, early January 2020, right? May 2nd, 2020, we got married, right?
Okay.
November 3rd, 2020, the radio station laid me off due to COVID.
Okay.
3 weeks after that, this woman sits me down and tells me that she basically wants a divorce.
Wow.
3 weeks after that, this same woman had convinced all of my friends and family that she was in it to win it. Everybody, from my mom to shout out to Adele Givens, who I was performing with at that time. Right? So both of them reacted the same way to the loss of light. The second one really convinced me that she loved me. And so in my mind, when this comedy thing picks up and there's no female there during that time, I'm about to be Jamie Foxx and just have a bunch of girlfriends.
Okay.
Like for real.
So, because you are going through this, do you need time to heal? I think
What
you
is time to heal or is it time to
I
see? Now, we were talking about this.
We were talking
Now,
about this, right?
is it heal or is it learning from being burned? Learning to not put your hand on a hot stove from being burned.
You still have to process it because if you're saying don't get burnt, you're still putting the box in the basement. It's still the
But
same
I
thing.
don't understand, how do you heal from that, Asia? This is where, like, in other words, I get what you're saying, but it's it's literally like being pushed off that cliff and hitting the ground and surviving through some miracle.
Right. God is still here. He is still here. Right. And so there are going to be things that are
I'm
going
gonna
to come
walk
into your
different
life.
because this was a long ass
They-
way down. Right. I'm gonna be, hey,
they're
how y'all
they're
doing? Yeah, I fell
they're
off the
part
cliff.
of your testimony, right? They're part of your story. Like these are things that as painful as they are, they're part of your story to better you in certain aspects. So that way when you get to the point where so think about this. Okay, so she did what she did and you were in radio, right? So fast forward 5-10 years from now when you're really really in comedy and you are a huge name at that point.
Mm-hmm.
think about how you'll react to women moving forward so that you don't put yourself in that same situation on a much larger scale, because they're really going to be sought, you're going to really be sought after, right? So this was the baby step for what's about to happen. Do you understand?
Listen, Teresa was the only woman that I ever dated that
Okay.
knew of me from comedy and approached me because of what she saw on that stage. That's where she saw me. That's where she first originally. So after that, and you know this yourself because you've been around me when comedy has been. I do not hang around trying to get women after shows because I don't want a woman that has seen me perform, and that's how she met me. I'm sorry, you might be a great lady, but you want Timmy Tim and not Tim.
Right.
Right.
So, moving forward, you're
Mhm.
going to really have to dissect. And you say you don't have time because your time is, listen, you have to realize that if God is the head of your life, you have the most time, the much time as you want in the world. Okay.
Right.
So, I want you to take time off the table
Right.
and really take the time to really invest in the person and really see if that's the person for you. You can't go off of shallow feelings,
Right.
because what's 5 months, right? I mean, what?
All right.
How many months was
It was 7 months before I proposed to her.
it?
But now here's
Yeah.
the thing. She was the one that was pushing marriage because she was like, I told you all the things that she was doing. And so she was like, listen, I'm doing a lot. So like, what are we doing here? She gave me the what are we doing conversation and told me what she
Did
wanted.
you feel stressed?
So what? No, I never
Did
felt
you
stressed,
or
but
pressured? You feel pressured?
no, I never did. But see, because at this age, whenever I'm dating somebody, if I'm seeing someone, it is purposeful. I am moving like I am, with you. If I'm at that stage with you, then I've already become a protector. I've already become, a provider. I've already become the man in your life. You want your grass cut, your air and the tires, and the gas in your car. Yeah, I'm at that point when I'm dating you, when I'm with you. So, um, and I do believe, like I said, I am not on the coochie sharing program. I do not like multiple women that's doing multiple things. I do not. So if I am seeing someone, then that's somebody that I'm seeing.
So let's refocus, or let's reshift things. So you have a type that is attracted to you. Would you agree? Yes.
I would think that they might be attracted. Yes, there is a type that is attracted to me. Um, Usually, the women that can, but also want an intelligent man.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what are you putting off that's attracting them? What are you putting out there? What is it that you're saying? What is it that you're doing that you think is so strong for them that they gravitate towards you in that regard?
Now, Asia, this is one of those things where I need you to recall of your memory of me, right? The whole time you've known me, have I been the type of guy that was always in a woman's face trying to get up with him, right?
Right.
No, I haven't been that guy, right? Because I've always been focused on doing whatever it is I'm trying to do. At the time, radio and comedy. Spent a lot of late nights up in that radio station learning stuff. Um, so I'm not a pursuer of women.
Right.
It's not something that I usually walk up to a woman. A woman's got to basically, let me know that she might be interested, whether it be eye contact, a text, something.
Okay.
But they also need to be careful because
So
if I'm not
you
interested,
don't
I'm going to be.
pursue.
I do not.
You do not. Okay.
I do not. I have not.
Okay. So maybe let's switch that narrative then.
Well, let me say this. I'm thinking while we were saying it, I was thinking about all the women in my life and how many of them that I actually stepped to that were substantial relationships. All right. And I'm remembering them as Levon,
Okay.
uh,
You
Clarissa.
don't have to name everybody.
No, I'm going to name them because don't nobody know who these people are. So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So I'm going to name them because I'm thinking of it. Clarissa. I met Clarissa in a shoe store.
Okay.
Uh, and I was buying some shoes, and she was the clerk, and I started flirting with her and stuff, and she flirted back. So it was like, oh shit, let me make a move real quick. So I made a move, and then we started. Levon, was walking across the street at Food Line, and she had just worked out. She had on them yoga pants, and I came across the parking lot and hollered at her.
Okay.
And that a substantial relationship came from that one. But for the most part, and Cynthia back in the day, but for the most part, these women, from even the first girlfriend, Janine,
Okay.
approached me.
Mhm.
So I guess I just walk my life. I don't really know how to go up to a woman and be like, "What's happening with you? You know what you doing over here?" You know
You've
what I'm
been out
saying?
of touch for a while. You know how to do it. You've just been out of touch.
I
But the
don't
ones
like
that
that.
you've approached, they were more comfortable, would you say?
I made them comfortable. I was able to achieve, but it was something that I wanted at that time, so I made the move. But most of the time, I'm just not a thirsty dude where I'm always trying to holler at women.
But a woman who would seek out a man is essentially more like an alpha female, right? She knows what she wants and she's going after what she wants. And so maybe it's a time where you take the shift and you pursue. And
Yeah,
she will have an agenda. She may have
yeah,
an agenda.
yeah. And again, I'll go back to the used car analysis. You know, is that we've all been driven off the lot,
Right.
and we're as good as the last person that drove us. Right? We we all ride the way we ride because that's how we've been driven. You know?
And I would agree with some of that. And then there's sometimes where once you've done work on yourself, you can put yourself back together. You don't necessarily be exactly the way you were, but you can shift some of the things that you had happen to you and not necessarily be as you there's no way around it. There is no way around it. Everything, like, I can fix all of this out here, but if I don't fix the inside, I'm still hurt.
Well, I
Like,
get that. But
I
again,
can
when you
get my
say
hair done, I can
fixing,
get my nails done, I can get all this stuff, but inside, I'm still the same person. So if I don't fix the inside, it's still gonna portray on the outside. So it doesn't matter who you get to next, who you date next. As soon as anything happens, you may immediately go back to that place. And so you may have a completely different woman and she may be in a great mindset, and then you go immediately back to where you were with someone in your past.
yeah, I get what you're saying, and yeah, when there are women basically that approach me, like if a woman, I recently had a woman approach me. She owned a hair salon.
Okay.
Um,
And what happened? You immediately thought of, yep, go ahead. Hmm.
of what it's like to date a hairdresser.
Hmm.
And because I'm a firm believer after dating a hairdresser that that's where all relationships go to die is the hair salon. Don't take your relationship to the hair salon unless you want it to die. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
Um,
Now, what do I feel about beliefs? What is my mindset
right,
for beliefs?
you're right.
What is
But
it? What is it?
I think that a lot of men
You got to say
my
it
age
out
that have been
loud.
through the things that have been through the things that usually move along the line of best practices.
Okay.
And a lot of saying best practices, like I told you, I think there are some guys out there who are literally F boys um, in self defense.
Okay.
Like to be able to partake in the goodness of a woman, but not ever really truly committing to a woman by being a F boy, a player.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. That makes sense. So everybody is trying to shield their heart in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely. I believe that. I do. Hold
just in other ways. So men don't mind um, having sex because they can turn it on and turn it off, whereas females are a little different. We don't necessarily can take the emotion out of it. So it's like,
on.
why even put myself in a situation like that? Or why tell me the things that you tell me if they don't matter and they don't mean anything? So I get that. So everybody is trying to shield themselves in some way, shape, or form.
Right. Like, I mean, men talk and we talk about women the same way, women talk about men. And we all bring our experiences in there. And we all come in feeling some kind of way. There are some guys that still love love. I used to be one of them.
So, so you're no longer one of them, or you're no longer one of them right now.
Listen, when I think of love, I think of it as a landmine that somebody's giving, a hand grenade that somebody's giving me to keep in my pocket with me at all times.
I
And
don't
if
think
the
you'll feel
pin
like
ever
that.
gets pulled and it explodes, somebody's gonna die. Man, I feel like love is a live hand grenade that you keep with you. You make a conscious choice to keep it. It might be a beautiful grenade. It looks great, but if you pull that pin, Jesus, top of the line military grenade. You know, um, whoo, Lord have mercy. And that's what I feel like. Or better yet, I feel like that if she knows I love her, she's the one with the grenade. And every once in a while, she'll come through and pull that pin out. See, what did we need to talk? And be like, hey, put the pin back in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, baby, put the pin back in. And begging her to put the pin back in. And every time she gets upset with me, and it's because she knows I love her, she'll come pull that pen out. Be like, what you said? You was disrespectful. Why you ain't come home when you said you was gonna come home? Why you ain't answer the phone? I pull this pen. I pull it. I pull it. That's exactly what it's like to be in love with a woman of today that knows that you love her.
Mm.
That's a special type of love, Asia. As a man that I've experienced all types of love. That love of a husband
Hmm.
is why a man will kill you for messing with his wife.
Okay.
I never understood that before I achieved it.
Okay.
And if you married, I don't give a damn how fine you are. Hail from around me. Not at all. I wouldn't ride to the store with a married coworker that didn't tell her husband that she riding with me to the store. She'll be in the car. Before you put your seatbelt on, call your husband and tell him that we going to the store.
Right.
Let me talk to him. Hey, what's up? This Tim. Hey, yeah, man. Just want to let you know we ride to the store together. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a man and wife should be in the car with another man unless he know about it. You understand? My man. All right. All right. Yeah, man. Still, look me up on Facebook. Follow me. Here you go. He sound like a nice dude. That's going to be what the conversation is. Even just to ride to the store.
Mm.
Because I know what it's like for a man to love a woman. And because I've been there, and I do believe, it's not going to be easy to get me back there because that's so high. So again, I go back to the fact that I believe that a lot of men are the way they are out of self-defense.
Do you think that it's possible that you could get back to that point?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. She got to be a hell of a woman or somebody from my past that I know something about. I just a woman that walks up to me or I meet somewhere. I almost would have to have seen her in real life, like be able to watch her and how she rolls from a distance, not being with her, but from a distance.
So
Like
the women who have approached you, what is it that you like in a woman? Let's start there.
I like for her to be beautiful to me. I want her to be beautiful to me. Um,
Okay.
I want to look at her and feel her beauty.
Take physical out of it.
No, I'm saying, as I said, I want to be able to look at her and feel her beauty. Like one of the things that I did that I achieved while I was married, I was able to look at my wife and feel love.
Okay.
Like I looked at her, everything that she did from the smile or laugh or me or anything, I could feel it in my chest.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be riding something, I'd be driving, and sometimes I'd look over at her and feel that, you know, a peace in loving someone. You know,
Okay.
this person is here; they ain't going nowhere. That's a different type of love. So that's what love is for me. And right now, if I look over at her like, what this bitch want? It's
Now
like
I asked you. I said, what characteristics should she have to have? That's what I said.
just be a good person of good character.
Okay. What does
You
that look
know,
like?
a person doesn't lie. A person that is about life, that's knowledgeable. I don't want somebody that no more love and hip hop women. No
Mm,
more. Anybody that can get past that. The same. I feel the same way about women who date men who like wrestling. That's a certain type of man to sit there and get into something that you know is fake. You know what I'm saying? So for a woman to get involved with love and hip hop and become a fan of Jocelyn, like who are you? Like why would you be attracted to that in a person?
okay. Okay.
So
What other qualities does she have to have?
I like for her to take care of herself. Um, don't walk around with jagged toes and crackly ankles
Oh,
and
this is
stuff like that.
physical stuff. What else? What else? What else?
Okay. Like I said, I do like her for her to have an idea of God. And I like to see because one thing I do now that I haven't always done is before I sit down to have breakfast or dinner or lunch with someone, is I pray with them.
Okay. I like that.
So, I pray a lot more in situations like that, even by myself. I
Okay.
always pray before shows, before I go on stage. And I find the places where I can drop down on bended knee or both knees
Okay.
and pray. Um, so I'd like for her to be able to understand that and be with that. You know, um, if I could design my own woman, it would be a woman that could put aside the evil that like I can. I can set aside the dirt that's within me
Hmm.
to sit down and study the Bible or to read the Bible and to have conversation about the Bible. Um, I hate when people say God put us together. I don't like that because yeah, I don't like that. I feel like you're using God to manipulate me
Mm.
because God is an omnipotent being outside of time that I could never understand. And why would He look down on me with 3 billion people on this planet and be like, oh, I wonder who's Tim humping? You know,
Hmm.
and I just don't believe in that. I believe you know what you're supposed to know, carry yourself accordingly.
Okay.
So, as far as the spiritual things about a woman that I like,
Hmm.
those are the things that I like. She doesn't have to be someone that goes to church every Sunday. She has to be someone that truly believes in her heart, whether that be, you know, Allah, this and this and that. I would not date a woman who prayed to the Norse gods.
Okay.
If she thinks Thor is a real god, then we're unequally yoked all the way around.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she prays to Odin. We're unequally yoked. So I would not be. Yeah, Allah is different, but Odin, and there are people out there who pray to Odin.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, there are. So yeah, so her being have an idea of a higher purpose,
Mhm.
which could, which if she believes in that, then she's going to walk a certain way.
Okay.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that part. Um, as far as everything else, that's just what I prefer in a woman, and a woman that can come talk to me, but still understand that I'm a man.
Okay. Let's unpack that. What does that mean?
All right, you come to me talking about Diane at work. I'm going to sit there and look at you because you're my lady. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to listen to what you're saying. As
Okay.
long as you understand that I don't care. I care because you're upset. But about Diane, I'm not pulling up on the job to confront Diane with you. When you say, when you pull up, I'm dropping you off at work and you see Diane, look at that bitch, I'm going to look at her. But when you get out of the car, I don't give a damn about Diane. She just needs to understand that. I don't. I don't care. Um,
Yeah.
I care because you feel better. So talk to me. Outside of that, nah.
Okay.
So
Anything else?
yeah, and I guess anything else that I would say is you know, be respectful of the fact, be protective of my manhood. So if you feel like there's a problem with the way I'm behaving, I don't mind you checking me, but I want you to check me when the situation is appropriate, where we can discuss it. You can tell me what it is you see.
How would you like to be checked?
Well, I definitely would. Okay, so there was this. I'll give you an example. There was this woman. I was doing a live. And I was making a bologna sandwich in the live. I was making this double decker egg and cheese and bologna sandwich, right? So I was cooking it on live, being funny and stuff. And I had on gray sweatpants,
Okay.
right? Uh, as soon as the live was over, I got a text message saying, "You must have lost your MFing mind. You know what you was doing," and blocka, 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 all that other stuff, and just going off on me in text message with all caps. Um, I would like a woman to be like, later on that day, "Hey, listen, I saw the live you did and it was funny and stuff, but I was really uncomfortable with you, with Grace sweatpants on.
Okay.
I would prefer B,
So the delivery was off.
way off,
Way off. Okay.
way off."
Okay.
So, and it was a complete turnoff, complete.
Do you like loud women?
No, but I appreciate a woman who will get loud. Now, when I say get loud, there's a difference between get loud. Like if you're with me and we're at United Airlines, or no, let me be realistic. We're at Spirit Airlines, and Spirit is with that bullshit, right?
Right.
So and stuff. I will respect the fact that she's going to get loud.
Okay.
And I would try as her man, "Hey, baby, let me handle this. This and this and this. You're upset." And for her to be like, "Oof, oof, yeah, you go ahead and handle it," and then walk off. But I don't want a woman that I got to be like, "Baby, calm down. I ain't going down." I don't want that. I want her to be able to control it.
Okay. Now, reverse. Can she be able to bring you down? Because you have a tendency to get loud too.
Yes. But when you love a woman, you are mindful. This is where it comes to that level of love I was talking about. When I reach that level of love, I'll cuss the world out, but I will never cuss her.
Okay.
I'm mindful. So even when I talk to her in a moment of anger, it's different. But if it's me, if she comes to me and she's like, baby, calm down, we'll handle this. But if she starts yelling at me because I'm yelling, we got a whole hurricane about to pop off. A whole hurricane.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect storm.
Now you said you won't curse her out, or you won't, you'll talk to her differently. But if you're in a situation where it's against somebody else and she's there, can she bring you down? Can
Yes.
she calm you
If
down?
she if she approaches me the right way. If she comes to me like she's on my side, I'll play her down. You know what I mean? This and this and this. But if she's the coach that's gonna yell at me like she's on the opposite, on the opposite side, like that type of coach, what the fuck you doing? All that stuff, that is not going to work in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, no. So I can be calmed down if you're that woman.
Okay. I want to go back to something that you said. You said that after all the things that have happened, you pray more. So, can you tell me what positive things have happened in spite of the things that didn't work out? What positivity did you get
Afterwards,
out of it? Yeah, that you're
afterwards,
doing now that you weren't doing before? Or what have you noticed that you're doing now that you like more than you had before?
saving money.
Okay, saving money. Okay, that's a
Right.
good
Saving money. Save a lot of money. Not
Okay,
messing with these women out here. Um,
okay.
and like I said, I told you earlier today, if it come to some booty or a tank of gas, I'm gonna choose a tank of gas every time.
Okay.
That's what's come out of it. I'm not gonna be. Um, I'm gonna always treat a lady like a lady. I'm gonna always open the door for her. And I'm gonna always take care of her if she's in my presence. I'm gonna always protect her. You know that being my friend.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, so those are the things about myself that I can't change. But what I am going to change is who I decide to be, have access to me,
Okay.
and the type of man that I am.
Okay.
You know, not every woman deserves the type of man that I am,
Okay.
and I have to. I have to. That's something that's positive that came from it.
Okay. Now you said yes, and you save more money, but I want you to go deeper than that. So what else outside of prayer and saving gas that you have that has been positive since those relationships?
Um, that I don't engage in just random sex.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
um, again, I've learned that women use sex differently than men.
Facts. Mm-hmm.
It's to attain. It's their use is to obtain, to fulfill a piece of agenda. So if a woman is coming to me and she's trying to lay with me, then she's wanting something from me. And if I don't want what she wants, then I don't want to lay with her.
Okay. So you're
Because that's
saying are you saying, okay, at the age you are now, the women who come to you want something they want, and what is that? Do you think that they want?
most of the time I think it's they want me to enhance their life. It's not uh genuine. I'm interested in you because I really like you. They don't come to me like, I could do this for you. I could do this for you. They come at me like, you could do this for me. You could do this for me. I see that a lot. So I pay attention to a woman's attitude. Like, why are you here? What do you want? So I get straight to the point at this age. So anytime a woman is looking at me or whatever, and I get the impression that she wants me, would like to interact with me,
Mm-hmm.
then that immediate conversation becomes into what do you want? Now, some women, it's okay to want a husband. You know, I would like to be a husband, but I'm not coming in with that goal.
Okay. So you just said I would like to be a husband. So
I
it's
would
not off
like to
the
be that
table.
person.
It's not off the
I,
table then.
well, here's the thing. I would like to fly around like Superman and use the heat vision.
Your
And
words was I would like to be a husband. I'm sitting with that. I want you to sit with that. Because that
yeah,
still means your subconscious means yes, I was hurt, but I still enjoyed what I was. I still enjoyed being
it
a
was a
husband.
very peaceful place.
Okay. Okay.
It's a very peaceful
We got
place.
room. We got room.
It,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it's not a lot of room because at the end of the day, I can't see giving both of my balls to a woman anymore.
It's still
Saying, hold
fresh
on to
to you
this.
though. It's still
It's not
fresh.
fresh. It's not fresh. It's still and when I say it's not fresh, my divorce was final in June of 2022.
Okay. So just a
Um,
year. Okay.
and during that time, of the whole separation and stuff, I interacted with women. A lot of them I wish I didn't because that's when I really discovered that they're not going to come in and just be with you and to be good company. They want something in return. And if you're not capable of giving them that, then don't even waste their time.
Right.
You
What
know,
age range are you dating when you talk about these women?
um, when it comes to um, I seen that okay.
Well, you said that you were dating after you had the separation and stuff. So I'm just trying to see.
One was 49. One
Okay.
was one was 37.
Okay.
One was 43,
Okay. So
38.
they're in companion age though. They're in ages that want companionship as well. Correct.
Yeah, yeah. I don't do the whole younger girl and stuff. I've had some younger women, try to get at me, but I'm definitely looking at them like, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? Because, like, really,
Gotcha.
out of here. I had one try to explain to me the age is nothing but a number. I said, but it's a significant number that you need to pay attention to.
Okay.
You don't look at a car that's a 1998 and go, hey, just some numbers, man. How much for the car? It's a 1998.
Okay. So the age range, how did you meet them though? Like how did you come in contact with them?
Um, Two of them, I'm gonna say three of them, I already had some knowledge of.
Okay.
Like, right, it just went to that level at that time. Um, there was one that I did approach, but I broke one of my own rules when I approached her. Is is a woman over 40 rocking contact lens is my own personal rule. Colored contacts, yeah, I'm not doing that. Colored contacts past the age of 40. Lord
What
forgive me,
is
but I'm judging you. I'm judging you.
okay.
Yeah, like the green and blue and no, I'm judging you. I'm judging. I am.
Whew. Okay.
So that's one. But when it comes, sorry, I'm just sorry there's some ladies out there that might have colored contacts and you wear them for whatever reason you wear. Some of them may be for vision or whatever. But I believe that, they got to be reasonable. Blue and green and and all that other stuff. I would look at that the same way a woman would look at a man who's walking around with a sock in his pants,
Mm. Okay.
you know?
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Especially like the one that I talked to, she didn't even have any pictures of herself with out her contacts in.
Mm,
So she's been rocking them a long time.
right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
to me, it screams of issues. But if I had to pick an age range of which I was attracted to, I would say 37 to 55.
37 and 55. Okay. Okay. And then something, I want to go back a little bit. You said that women want something from you sexually. So you said women and men are different, but you didn't explain the men side of it.
Well, when I say that women want something from me, it could be sexual, it could be money, but they want to use, I feel like they use the sex to obtain something.
Okay.
So it's like, what do you want? When as soon as you start wanting to sleep with me, you know, you get turned on by me and all this other stuff. But um, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? Why are you giving me this goodness?
Right.
Um, so,
And
but when it comes to men,
yeah, from your perspective, what is it that you want?
a partner that's going to be here, rain, sleet, snow, sunshine, somebody I don't have to worry about when things go south or things aren't going as well. You're the last thing in the world I want to have to worry about. I got all this other shit going on. You know how many men might lose their job and get up every morning after that like they're going to work while they're looking for a job because they don't want to tell their wife that, or their girlfriend that they lost their job?
Okay.
And there's a reason for that. I don't ever want to feel like that. I want to feel like I can come home and tell you what happened. And then you sit down at the table with me, all right, well, what we gonna do? Let's do this, let's do that. Let's come up with a plan. Strategize. Let's work it out. That's what I want. You know, I asked this question, and this is where women kind of contradicted themselves. I asked it on my social media. For those of you out there, my social media is Timmy Tim on Facebook, comedian Timmy Tim on Instagram, and Timmy Tim 826 on TikTok. But I asked this question: What, which would you prefer, James Evans or George Jefferson? All the women answered James Evans, which is a contradiction
Mm-hmm.
of what they say that they want. Because James Evans wasn't ever rich. James Evans had to go out and work and wash dishes, do whatever he had to do. He had 3 kids in the house. They was in the ghetto. They were struggling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was strong. He was a good father. See, that's what they say they want. But that's not what they want. They want George Jefferson. They want George Jefferson to have Weezy sitting at home with a maid. Weezy did whatever she wanted to do with the community center and made whatever money she made while George paid all the bills. George was hard to deal with. She'll deal with George having a big mouth or whatever. But in any of the Jeffersons, if you remember the Jeffersons, it wasn't Weezy loving up on George. I kind of got the impression that she was just at George with George because she was at a good point in her life. You know, George taking care of all the bills and this and this and this. But Florida loved James broke ass.
Mm-hmm.
So women say they want James Evans, but they promote George Jefferson.
What do you think that is from your perspective?
Yeah. So what now?
Why do you think that is from your perspective?
It's what I see. Come on, Asia. If a man is making, and the average salary nationally, we've already discussed this of a man, the average man is $41,000 a year. If you go to certain states, South Carolina, and cities, Columbia, South Carolina, the average median income per household is $28,500. In Charleston, it's $40,000. Um, in Los Angeles, it's $32,000 or $34,000. So the average person out here is not making 80 and up, 70 and up. The average person is. So because women are putting all these desires and financial burdens on men to get their nails done, to get their hair done, to take them out and fly out on trips and all this other stuff. What they say, get flued out. First of all, anybody watching, I hate flued. I hate when y'all say that. But anyway, to get flued out, that is something that, the average man is not going to be able to do. And because they put these desires, now we measure a man by how much money he has.
Okay.
Right. George Jefferson over James Evans.
What would you rather be measured by?
The content of my character. Listen, Asia, it really bothered me when my wife, ex-wife, made me feel like, and she would say these things to me. You've always been a comedian and on the radio. What are you going to do now that COVID has taken that from you? If you work and you hurt yourself, then I'm going to have to take care of you. If something happens to you and you can't work, then I'm going to have to take care of you. And I don't want to do that.
Okay.
These are the things that were said to me right in the middle of COVID when both careers had failed. And the answer is, I'm James Evans. I'm going to do whatever it is I got to do. And that got off pandemic benefits, right? I've done pest control. I've delivered packages for UPS. I've actually worked with a company that hired us to role play roles for soldiers who were training for the civilian assist team deep out in the woods of a military base. I've sold items. I've done shows, produced and done shows, did shows, flew out to do some of those shows. I've landscaped. I've been an insurance salesman on a phone. I've Ubered. I've done everything in that time.
Okay.
I'm James Evans. I'm what women say they want. But if I tell them, hey, look, my funds kind of low. I can't take you out to Papa Do's, but maybe we can hit this $3 bar.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to get judged. They're not looking at my character. They're not looking at the fact that I'm James Evans.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
That's deep. Because you're right, there's a contradictory. Because the women that approach you are the type that sound like they want the George Jefferson, though.
Right. Right.
So is it that in their mind they see George Jefferson? Or is it in their mind they see James Evans? Or is
They
it
see
you? What do you? Because it's almost like they see something that you don't see, right?
Again, those two significant relationships, one marriage,
Okay.
came, as I said, in the height of whatever point of my career that I was in. When the ex-wife met me, I was flying all out everywhere, performing with the Dale Gibbons.
So you were George Jefferson.
I appeared to be the George Jefferson.
Okay.
But what she wasn't looking at is that I was flying out to do all that stuff, but I was still busting my ass back here at the radio station and doing stuff and booking, my thing or whatever. I was James Evans, who might have been experiencing some success.
Okay.
But But when the sun came out and I was George Jefferson, I was James Evans washing dishes and working at the car wash,
Hmm.
they didn't want that.
Okay. So maybe, well, it's it's early for you now, but maybe instead of seeking for somebody while you're at that level, maybe you just start now, right? Where you're like at square one again. So that way you'll have time to build with her. You know what I mean?
Well, again, time is very key. But again, we're talking about older men my age. You know the average age a man lives to be with to in America?
70s.
78.4.
Okay.
Anything
You're
after that
not
on
average.
average.
I don't know why I keep saying, listen, y'all be living your life, okay?
Hey, listen,
Don't worry about the average of anything. Y'all is not
listen,
average.
listen. The numbers are the numbers. We can worry about them. But if we got
It,
knowledge of them, you
right.
understand.
In America. In I can't remember the Japan. There's about
Japanese people live long.
116 years old. There's everybody in the town is over 100.
Right. But
Comfortable.
if my dream is to play basketball,
Is your dream to play basketball?
no, I'm just saying an analogy. If my dream is to play basketball, I got a certain window to do it in. So at this age, I don't
Men can
have.
have kids as old as they want. So I don't even know what that means.
But first of all, I'm not going to be no older dude having kids in this generation because I don't want to be on the phone explaining to the police that he choke slammed me before he took the car.
Oh goodness.
You know, I don't. I don't want to. I don't want to be like, yeah, don't call me pussy ass old nigga. I'm your daddy. I want to be that. I want to be able to get in there and wrestle with her if I need to.
Mhm.
But right now, I'm at an age where I got to stretch before I fight. If you see me stretching and talking noise at the same time, I'm about to sucker punch the hell out of somebody. It's gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But no, back to my point. 78.4 years old. So if you literally did, a man who is 55 years old could literally write a book. 23 years left. What do I do with it? It's 23 years on average. How much time do
Then
I
you
need?
live. Then you live. If you knew for a fact that you were going to leave this earth at 78, would you be like, I don't want no more women. I'm just gonna. What would you do? Let's honestly think about that for a second. What would you do if you knew for a fact that that was your end?
I would imagine it would put some pressure on me. First of all, that's a good. Um, but I would. It would put some pressure on me. Um, to try and find that other person because I don't think that anybody is cool with dying alone, and especially with this generation. And if I end up in an old folk home by myself, and with this generation, they walk around with hoodies in the summer, taking care of me. I'm gonna die for sure. I'm dead.
Take the
I've
humor
seen them.
out of it. Take the humor out of it. What are you gonna
That's
do?
not humor. That's truth. I'm dead. So I would like to be with someone before I end up in the care of these generations that's coming up right now. I've seen them walk past the fries at McDonald's and the thing steady beeping, and they just don't do anything about it. And I consider that beep. I compare it to a heart monitor. So, like, I I know I would like to be with someone, like literally.
Okay. So we have established you do want a companion.
I
You
would
may not
love to
have.
have them.
So let's just say this: a companion doesn't mean that you have to get married again. We'll put that on the table, though. Yes.
Right. It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Okay.
Um, it's just going to be a difficult sell.
Why? What is it that you like to do outside of comedy and radio? What is it that you like to do? What do you enjoy doing?
I like
Your
movies.
hobbies.
I, I like movies. I like dating, regular dating. I like to go out and sit with my partner, talk about stuff, I like for her to be, and this might be, I like her to be involved with the world around her, like to be knowledgeable of some of the things that are going on around the world. I don't want to have to explain to her about the conference that they had the UFO hearings in. I don't want to. I want her to be. It's definitely a turn off when a woman says, Trump wasn't so bad. Oh yeah, get out of my car. You got to go. You got to
So
go.
you're deflecting. I
Okay.
said, what is it that you like to do? And you said movies, dating, and you went right back to her. So I'm going right back to you. What is
Okay.
it that you like to do?
Like I said, movies, comedy. Um, I like taking long rides on country roads.
Okay.
You know, I like listening to all different types of music.
Okay.
And dare I say, sex. I like sex.
Most men like sex.
Yes,
What
I
else?
love sex.
What else?
With
You have
somebody
50
that,
years.
that
You have 50 years of life. What else do you like to do?
um,
Because a lot of these things are not, a lot of these things are you doing something, but it doesn't mean that you're necessarily thinking when you're doing these things, right? Because, movies, you're just watching a movie. So you're not like in your head or anything like that. Long rides, you might think about something, but you probably have it on the radio. Sex,
no,
you're not really in your head. So, like, what are you doing
but
that you
no. When
really
I'm on
enjoy
those
that
long
can give
rides,
you?
I'm thinking of material. I'm thinking of shade.
Okay.
Stage work. I'm listening to the music creates for me. No, it creates. That's why lyrics are important for me. So when I listen to music, I can't listen to stupid music,
Okay.
just stupid shit.
Mhm.
The stuff that today's music um, makes no sense to me at all.
Okay.
Yeah, they ain't singing or rapping about nothing.
That's fair.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, I do think a lot. Movies, now to be honest with you, the way I watch a movie is different from somebody else watching a movie. I look at everything. I look at the production. I look at, you know what I mean? So I guess you could say, I want to create movies. I look at,
Okay.
so I like, being a creator. I like to be able to see the creativity of the director and the writer.
Okay.
That always gets points with me.
Okay. When's the last time you went on a vacation?
Oh man, that was during my marriage. After that, I've just been out here, like I've been out here getting it. It's no vacation.
Where would you like to go on vacation?
What would I like to do for vacation?
Where would you like to go on vacation?
Somewhere where I can relax. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be get on a plane and do this and this and that. I'd like to be at a point in my life to where I can literally take a break and enjoy wherever. You know,
Okay. I want you to put an actual physical location though.
if I could go
Start
on a
thinking
vacation,
towards it, right? Because sometimes we don't know
if I
what
could
we
go on
want,
a
or we
vacation to
don't know.
somebody,
Go ahead.
if I could go on a vacation somewhere comfortably, I would like to go.
Okay.
I would like to visit some countries in Africa,
Africa. Okay.
Nigeria, Nigeria to be one, um, Alaska. I'd like to take one of those cruises that you see the icebergs before and the ice caps before they start melting and we're all underwater. I'd like to see those.
Okay. Okay. I like that. Okay. And besides sightseeing, what would you do in those areas? Why are you drawn to those places?
The feel of them. I'd like to feel them. Like I'd like to go to Nigeria to feel this is where my people came from. I'd like to feel the land and see it, to touch the soil, and to feel like I was at home. Like this is where my people come from. Without this area, I wouldn't exist.
Okay.
London, I just like to feel what it feels like to be there. Alaska, I like to feel the cold. I
Okay.
like to, see some awesome things,
Okay.
you know.
Hmm. This is
So
good. This is good.
I'm one of those guys. Like the waterfall of Niagara Falls was amazing to me.
Okay.
But I wasn't when I was at Niagara Falls. I was there working that weekend. So
Okay. So maybe something to do in the future. I won't say near future, but in the future is to travel to one of these places. Like you got to put this on your list of things to do.
yeah, those are long term goals. For me,
But they don't have
really
to
getting
be. They don't have to be long term goals. They
well.
they
Like for
are,
me,
but they don't have to be. When you say long term, are you saying like a year? Are you saying what are you saying?
what I'm saying is right now, to be on, like my grind as far as what I'm doing. Of course, I start the job tomorrow, and I also have to, um, have to get this comedy thing going. I have to reinvent myself,
Okay.
and so I'm working on those. So it's hard for me to look at a vacation because I don't see one anytime soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can still put it down. I want you to. Do you journal? Do you write at all?
Yes, from time to time. I've
Are
had audio recordings. I've given recorded of myself.
Okay. Are those just comedy or are those actual like
Just my thoughts and feelings type stuff.